I appreciate y'all for having us on.
And we got little Pierce. We got the new baby in here.
Oh yeah, my daughter.
That's your daughter, and how old is she?
She's 2.
2 years old. All them terrible twos, huh?
Well, she seems pretty
She's
sweet
not,
and
she's not
calm
terrible right now. She's cool right now.
Oh, it's daddy's girl.
Daddy's girl, no doubt. Coach Pierce, how we doing?
Doing well, doing well.
Listen, let's jump right into it. Elijah, listen, I've been following you for a while, man. You know that we've and really this is long overdue. We should have done this a long time ago, right here, especially since we opened up OKC CBS Sports. But I saw your last fight, dominating fashion, knockout. You have the regional belt. What is it? The WBC silver belt.
Yes.
Explain that to me, because it's now obviously it's not the big WBC, WBO, IBF, but it's a regional belt, which lets everybody know in this Midwest Southern region, Elijah Pierce is a name to be reckoned with.
Right.
Tell us about that belt. I mean, how proud of you of it to have it, and then where do you look to go from here with it?
Well, for me, it wasn't just about attaining the belt itself. It was more so the background that kind of that stemmed from it, because before that fight, I was out for 11 months. I had took my first loss, and it was really devastating for me. You know, boxing has always been my life's plan. So,
right.
You know, when I took that loss, I had to really reevaluate and see what I was going to do with my life. And I was under different management at that time, so I was kind of confused, because after then, I wasn't with them anymore. I decided to let go because I just felt like we didn't have the same common goal.
Right.
So, you know, during that time, I was just trying to find myself. And my dad, he just kept reaching out to me. He just kept saying, son, just trust me, come back home, and I'll make sure you get where you need to be. And he said it the whole time and just kept putting it in my head. And then eventually I just said, you know what, I'll come back home, and it's the fight. And how long did it take for us to get the fight? About a couple months. Nobody really wanted to fight us. So he got it, and I trusted in him, and look where we at.
Pop said, come on back home, son. And Andy, you're a trainer.
Yes.
And you know what to look for in fighters and boxers when they lose, and their style and kind of the training that they're under, especially if they change trainers or change management. And you know who knows this guy better than you?
Exactly.
What did you see, and how did that affect you when you saw your son take that first loss?
Well, I was there, and I was in the corner, and
Okay.
it really affected me, because I know that his potential wasn't there. You know, most coaches, they train the fighter to their style of fighting, and a lot of them, they make the mistake by doing that instead of finding that that they're training, their style, and build on the style that they already have.
Right.
It's almost like you're trying to reinvent the wheel. You know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just add some arsenal to what they already have.
Right.
And I watched him changing his style to make I don't know how to say this, but he was almost having a Mexican style, where he would stand in the pocket and
Throw punches.
throw punches,
Yeah. More
and that's
stationary.
not him.
Yeah.
He's a mover. He's a lot of angles, and he wasn't doing that. And I saw the demise getting ready to happen from that.
Well, listen, let's not spend too much time on the demise and all the bad stuff, because you went out there, took care of business, now you're a belt holder, man.
Right.
And congratulations to you. I guess my question is for you, as his trainer, and as we start looking at the landscape of sports right now, we have some trust issues going on. Kawhi Leonard left the Spurs because he felt like there was not a communication between Greg Popovich and the Spurs coaching staff and how he was being done. He went to Toronto, found greener pastures, won a title, similar to the path that you guys just went through. You know, there seems to be a disconnect right now in the sport. So the challenges that you guys are facing, now that you're a belt holder, I'm sure the phone will ring now because everybody wants their chance at that. But what was the challenge in coming back in that process of taking ownership yourself for it and having to do all the legwork to fight to get back into that ring? Because all it did make you appreciate the journey that much more and that much sweeter. So how do you feel about how that process, however, either one of you can answer that one.
Well, for me, I'm just grateful. I'm just really just grateful for my dad, and I kind of look at it as a message to, you know, other fathers out there who are involved in their children's life, you know, to make sure to be there, because, you know, if he hadn't continued to reach out to me, you know, who knows where I would be right now. And just from him, you know, being persistent in my life, you know, now look where we're going, and we're achieving greater things now. So, but during the training process of getting back, I mean, we was on it. It was trained every day. It was just me and him personally, nobody else. Just every day, just he taking me running. He's right there with me, every step of the way.
How long you guys run?
We usually do a 2-mile sprint, and fast as I can sprint.
And Pop's keeping up with that.
Oh yeah, right there in the car.
I'm in the car.
He's in the car.
I'm following him in the car because I'm timing him. I'm not running. Them days are gone.
They're gone, huh?
Yeah, they gone.
Now, you know, explain yourself, Andy or Elijah, at the type of fighter you are. I mean, you know, we're not going to stand in the middle of the ring and just trade punches. So explain your style. You say you like to use angles. I just got through watching Lomachenko the other day, the angle god.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I mean, explain your style, Elijah.
And see, the thing, I'm a fan of Lomachenko myself, but
Uh-huh.
the thing that always kind of was funny about it was that my dad's been teaching angle fighting since I was a little kid.
Right.
So it was just, you know, people are so kind of amazed by it, but it's something that I've been doing since I was young. So I'm just kind of waiting my time to, you know, showcase myself and really show them that, you know, 'cause I remember that there was a story about Lomachenko, how he had to take dance classes and
Yeah.
everything just to be
Yeah.
able to do that. And
Just for the footwork.
him just playing Michael Jackson in the living room and us in the living room having fun, that was my dance
was your
class.
training, right?
That was the debut. All right.
So, I mean, but I'm very adaptable. I can box, I can bang, whatever needs to, you know, whatever situation I come across in the ring, I'll be able to handle it.
Now, in terms of the upcoming, I mean, who let me just ask this question: who has surprised you the most? Has contacted you now that you're the title holder now? Because beforehand, you said before it was kind of tough. Everybody was kind of didn't want to fight you, but now that you got something everybody wants, you know, is anybody surprised you so far who has reached out to you trying to schedule a match?
Not necessarily, but because now I'm actually under new management now. Well, as far as my promotion company, I'm actually signed to DeBella Entertainment now.
Okay.
Okay.
So, since they actually handle the scheduling of the fights now.
Certainly. Okay. Well, I'm glad to know that, because I said I was wondering how long. I mean, because again, it's nothing wrong with a family business. It's obviously working.
Right.
So I guess that was my question is for that. So what are they looking at as a defense of your title? What are you looking at in terms of that? Or have we even gotten that far yet?
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah, well, September the 28th be a fight, which will be in Atlanta, and
Okay.
we'll be fighting there. They haven't determined who the opponent will be right now, but that's the tentative date for so far.
September the 28th in Atlanta.
Yes, in Atlanta.
And will there be website, a link where folks can check it out, or we still climbing up to get to that point?
I'm just like I said, we're still, you know, kind of
Working out the details?
yeah.
Yeah. Basically, what they said is that they did tell us that this is a warm-up fight. So
Okay.
we know that the big one's coming.
Yeah.
So it's a
looking
warm-up
like
fight.
maybe
So,
sometime in
uh,
November, December.
yeah.
Okay.
Late November, December.
Okay.
So, and they said they'll probably be on pay-per-view. So,
Nice.
we'll go from
Nice.
there.
Okay,
So now,
okay.
you know, the door's opening up, you know, and getting to where we want to be, you know, financially, the social aspect of it. And so, you know, we're trying to create a platform for them here as well, you know. Eventually we'll have a fight here so the fans from Oklahoma can see.
Of course, man. I know you guys know Alex Saucedo.
Yes.
He had, what was that, Fight of the Year a couple years ago.
Right.
Down there in Chesapeake, man. It was great. So if we can get Elijah, get you up there in that ranks, man, and,
Oh, yeah.
and get some big time fights coming to Chesapeake here for Oklahoma City, that is a good look for you, for the city,
Mhm.
for the sport of boxing, everybody involved. If you're just now tuning in, we have Elijah Pierce and his father and trainer, Andy Pierce, live in the studio, talking some local Oklahoma boxing. Elijah Pierce has the WBC silver belt, which is a regional belt in the featherweight division, right?
Yes.
Comfortable in the featherweight? Move up, move down, anything?
Yeah, actually, now I'm getting ready to possibly move to super bantamweight as well, just because now that I have a good nutritionary dietary plan now, so I'll make weight pretty easy.
Listen, that's the other half of boxing.
Oh, yeah, it is.
I always tell people, listen, the fighting part, that's one thing. The real work is in the training and the eating and things like that. Is that tough for you?
It's just discipline.
And how old are you? You're a young man. How old are you?
I will be 23 September 30th.
23, and it's not hard. Eating rice cakes and broccoli all day. That's not hard. That's cool.
But when you can make the right food taste good, and there's no problem.
He said, made it good to me. Made it good to me.
Basically what I am, I'm the dietitian, and so I prep his meals. And I cook all the food for him, and so it's pretty easy for him. All he has to do is just get up, stick it in the microwave, and it's good. And I'll cook maybe about 10 or 15 different things, and I'll just switch them up so he don't eat the same exact thing. And I'll put them just different servings. I have these little plates that we got, and then with little covers on them. And so he has different servings and different things, and they're all proportioned well where he can eat what he needs to eat, get the nutrition. It's pretty much a vegan diet. We don't eat any meat.
No meat.
Really?
No dairy. No, none of that.
No dairy. Wow.
None of that.
But
Let me find out.
fruits and vegetables.
Let me find out. Coach Andy Emerald over here, whipping together the food for a championship fighter. And Coach, back to you. Listen, I know you're training your son Elijah, but you train a lot of fighters.
Yes,
You've been doing this for a long
I do.
time.
Yes, I do. I've been training for about 20-something years.
Really?
I trained Grady Brewer. He won the reality show, The Contender.
Contender, yeah, from Lawton, right?
Yeah, $500,000. He won that. I trained Myron Dennis. He's an MMA fighter.
Mm-hmm.
I trained, what's his name? Liddell Rhodes.
Hackman.
Yeah, Hackman.
No doubt.
Yeah. And I trained, I'm trying to think his name. Excuse me.
So many, man, 20
yeah,
years.
So many, yeah. It's
You know
been,
what I'm
and all these guys were UFC fighters or, top boxers. They handle their own,
At some point, does it turn into, or are you having so much fun training these different guys, different styles, different personalities, different disciplines? But at some point, are we just going to focus on Elijah and just get his thing going, or is that outside of I think a lot of people don't understand. Trainers train more than one boxer usually.
Well, basically, it's kind of a ministry to me. I see there's a deficit with young men with not any fathers or any guide to where they're going. I have a lot of guys coming for me for different reasons. Hey man, all I know I do is fight. I was in the gang and
Right.
I didn't graduate from high school, and so I use that platform to become a mentor to them. And I talk to them, and whether they continue down the journey to fighting and becoming this world champion, or it just helps them to understand themselves. And I think that's a bigger thing than just the fight
Just
game.
fighting, right?
Yeah, and so
Right.
and that's kind of where this has kind of turned into me. Now I have slowed down quite a bit because I'm trying to focus on him and get him to where he needs to be, and see what comes of it. So that's where I'm at now. So I've kind of slowed down. I still do train some fighters, but not as much as I used to.
Where do you view the sport of boxing right now in terms of looking at how the landscape of sport? I mean, for me, I've been a fringe fan since the 90s, and then lately doing this show, talking to my partner here who has great love for the sport, seeing the sport rise up again. So seeing us get the big time fights on whether it's on the Zone or seeing all those things, Top Ranked Boxing on ESPN, where we're getting a quality fight almost every other weekend. It's just showing another surge in it. So if there's a desire for someone out there, talk to me about just two things. One, where do you think the sport is heading from here? And then number two, for all those out there who have a desire and a want to, thinking that this is something that they would like to try, give me some ideas of what they need or some steps that they might want to take to get a part of the process and begin the walk, if that's what they would like to do.
Well, first of all, boxing, as far as it had a lull for a little while, especially when MMA kind of came into the game.
Yeah.
It kind of transitioned, so it's almost like the fans kind of broke off. Some were really true boxing fans, and some kind of broke off into the MMA side. But as you look at MMA, it's kind of you're finding it used to be a ground fighting. Now they're standing up doing a lot of
Throwing punches, yeah.
Throwing punches.
Yeah.
So now it's kind of blending back in to where it's becoming beneficial on both sides. That's why I'm kind of cross training, and I'm training some MMA fighters as well as boxers because it's kind of finding that balance. Boxing has
It's definitely evolved.
yeah,
Also
it's evolving.
because of the Mayweather era. Also,
Yeah.
you can tell even since Mayweather's after he retired, he left an imprint on the game as far as the monetary aspect and what the fighters are wanting to receive. And that's kind of been another thing that's been evident, and a lot of people talk about, because a lot, of course, nobody wants to fight and not get paid.
Sure,
So
right.
Sure.
every
No
fighter is wanting to get paid the absolute most that they can, but at the same time, you have to pay your dues before. So that's kind of another
Yeah.
thing that
And
fighters run across.
Mayweather, he set the scene and set the stage for a lot of these guys and showed folks how to get your money, be your own promoter, be your own manager, things like that. And guys are trying to break off into that. And I'm not mad at them. On the other side of that, these big corporations are trying to break off into that. You got these ESPN Plus, you got the Zone is coming out, right? HBO doesn't have boxing anymore, so it's kind of wide open of who can broadcast these fights now. And we'll see what it's going to look like in 5-10 years from now. I need you guys to help me out with something, because it's something I've been kind of a little debate I've thrown out there. Our boxing expert, we bring in our guy Elite, Noel Sosa, right? We talk to him anytime there's a big fight on tap. Listen, the heavyweight division, these new heavyweights, these big 6'6", 6'8", 6'9", do we need a super heavyweight division? Because even though we saw Andy Ruiz get the best of Anthony Joshua, and their rematch is set up for Saudi Arabia, right? But that's an anomaly. Usually your average 6 foot, 6'1", 6'2" heavyweight, he's too big of a mismatch for some guy standing 6'7", 6'8". Should we make a new super heavyweight division for guys 6'5", 250 and up? Or is that okay for 6'7" dudes to smack around 6 footers all day?
Well, it really just depends. Because I mean, if you just kind of, how tall is Deontay Wilder? What he's 6'6", 6'7".
6'7".
He's up there.
See, but at the same time, you look at his weight. He only weighs usually about
not-
215.
He's not thick. He's not that big.
So that's when. So and he's knocking out every single guy in the
Yeah.
division.
But see, he would be in that super heavyweight division.
Right.
But then again, Andy Ruiz just poured water on my whole
Yeah.
argument. The way he ran through Anthony Joshua.
Right.
Is that crazy, or am I reaching too far? Or is that, listen, 6 foot or 6'8", stand in there and do what you got to do?
Well, I think there's so many aspects to boxing that doesn't really, weight is just not always in size. They've always said, it's not the size of the dog in the fight,
Right.
it's the size of the fighting the dog. And there's always different kind of techniques that can bypass height, bypass size, strength. And so that's what makes the game interesting,
Right.
because there's so many
Strategies.
and things that you can do to overcome those things. So what you might think is a strength for someone may actually be a weakness for them.
That's why you're a trainer, man.
Right.
That's why you're a trainer.
Love
And
that.
matter
Love
of
that.
fact, a perfect example of that was with my own fight. I mean, they kept saying how the guy who I won the belt from, they kept saying how he was so strong and how he was really aggressive, and our whole game plan was to basically turn his aggressiveness into his weakness, and we came forward at him instead. And
Are we talking about Irvin Gonzalez?
Yes,
Is that
yes.
what we're talking about?
So I said the
Who
best
was
way
12-0 before he
Yep.
ran into Elijah?
Yep, I said bully. The best way to beat a bully is bully a bully.
There you go. They don't know that. Them having to back up and throw punches is new to them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right, right.
What is
See,
that
see,
about?
so Elijah ain't called. Say, hey man, what y'all doing in late October, November? What y'all doing, man? Y'all got that call yet?
Not yet.
Nah, I wouldn't take that call either.
Real quick before we get out of here, I'll let you guys go. Give us your social media accounts where folks can get in touch with you, and then let us know do you train at a certain gym? Can folks come see you and check you out, or is this all in the garage? This is home base, huh?
Home base in the
But
garage.
I heard that.
Well, yeah, but as far as social media, my Instagram for boxing is Elijah Pierce Boxing, ElijahPierce boxing, BOXING. And then I also have a music page where I like to showcase my music that I do. That's under Elijah_Pierce.
I heard that. Boxing, music. Hey, listen, we're all over the place, man.
Why not?
Why not? Well, listen, these are the Pierce boys. Elijah Pierce and his father and trainer, Andy Pierce. And check them out in Atlanta if you can. If you find yourself down there in the ATL, September 28th.
Mm-hmm.
Is going to be your next fight? The opponent we don't know just yet.
Not just yet.
But my man
They're
is-
working on it right now.
They're working on it right now. My man is climbing up the ranks. Listen, an exciting fighter. Where are we at? 10-1?
9-1, 8
9-1?
knockouts.
9-1, 8 knockouts, folks. So listen, we're in the early stages. So when my man is 20-1, 17 knockouts, don't say that I didn't let you know. All right, this is where you got your chance to check this guy out for the first time. Hopefully you've seen him somewhere around the city. Like I said, I remember when this guy was a young whippersnapper fighting at the what was it, the police
Olympic trials.
Yeah, I remember the Olympic trials, but even before that.
23rd Street Fight Factory.
23rd Street Fight
23rd
Factory,
Live.
exactly. No doubt. Shout out to everybody over there. So, Elijah Pierce, Andy Pierce, listen, my man is 9-1 with 8 knockouts. This is just the beginning, folks. Check this guy out if you get a chance. Check him out on social media at Elijah Pierce Boxing. Pierce, family, fellas, I appreciate you guys. Keep in touch with us, man. And when you come back for those next couple of wins, I'm going to go ahead and throw that out there. When you come back for those next couple of wins, come back to OKC, we'll talk about it all over again.
All right,
All
Joe.
right,
It's a
we
pleasure.
appreciate it.
Congratulations and much success. Time for us to go ahead and take a time out. We'll be back on the other side. This is the new sports tradition on Baby Friday, and it is
Big Boy Morning Edition. Back in a minute.